seek my view. I don't have a view on it, but because many are expecting me to do that, and people wanted to seek my view. I don't have a view on it, but near woman and make some catch on the pay. Then fashion show nothing. First of all, a year the Court of Appeal never said anywhere, some man on your bonnie and also Wieska, Wankasa. They never said that. Number two, say Mokaya was a 2021 election petition. Some Mekaya. NDC for no more per se, Jimensa, Ebetana box no Oyin Semiano. The court at the time, man Jimensa question base idea. Because the argument was that wo NDC, Munamo Bokwe do say, Abani Wiamo. Inti Muna was some much beyond reasonable doubt is Abani Wiamo. However, when to establish the gaps in Iriana, I see Wiamono. It's a Jimensa Babina box in the media, Sabi, and Kayi, and a court, no. Company. The NDC at the time, guys, unanimous FC. In fact, if you read the and said Nam Casey, now Ocean see back then now, the NDC was not fair to the court. Because I know now the former Chief Justice, Becca say the law is the law, and Emrano Ayambra. Ghana manager say wo allege so bia ye bone a wo allege no. Asubie da wo so say wo be prove. Say sandi pana ye bone. Let me break it down. So many create here. My allergy say the Bomasum. Men I may say a Kia Bomasum. Men I also be proving say a Kia Bomasum. And yet a Kia also proves on more Masum. Sana manity. It is said in that case in the Bushia. Court in the person which I say. A bina and the Mamma Kojina court. A bina is me enough evidence to show that Mamma I am burning. On Catamani burning. It's what are the facts? There's a microfinance company, friend of Tampa microfinance company. According to a buyer, and a state prosecutors, Mamane Bomo Busia 500,000 Ghana cedis. And I didn't see who count 24%. So 24%, bank, who says as cannot ever on the higher side. On the higher side, in Jamaica, so already she can come back to Maslok. According to bank penny for no, Maslok Mamane catch on me say they be on pay check or perfect cash. So according to them, all times can go. Ghana must go back them. And they go share my man. Our filling station and on the scanner. Now here is a twist. The court of appeal say the banks are now say Ghana buying couldn't show enough proof to say my money called this canon. Because according to the bank of Fono, my money extra crack time acknowledging say we choose the canon. Then on the flip side, later a few weeks after, my money signed crack to my banks and they say interesting that's kind of so omuntia. So the court was like, so most of my managers have 500,000 a year. Then yes, the woman said, Mamma, I can't imagine it's a few bank cross, a bank and then the cano. Or cut and bank and say, bank and M5 in soon, not just a train see hono. It doesn't gel up a one ensia. It's in a body. The braca, Omodituma, and ye. And went on for that to say that bank is penny for a catcher court and say, oh, I'm the Mamma WhatsApp exchange. Omo dim komo WhatsApp so a e wo se sa exchange no kwana e so mo de ba omo fa sa evidence no amba se ampa on ma me di WhatsApp exchange ma ma me di to me se sika no nzaka sa evidence nya fa nche court no nti e no court no gya so se wa bagu odi tuma onyeye again now according to Ghana government no I was say ma me koye sensitization program and say training across the country. Sa training no we spend about 1.7 1.8 million Ghana cedis on the training. Ghana buying say and prosecutors and say evidence be no work say mamman koye sa training no sa na omoka so omo na also mu say mamman koye sa training no it's the court and say Ghana government and I say prosecutors no ain't me for regional directors of Moslok at the time mamma be there dance here beneficiaries no omo for amba can say oh yeah san training no it's this key evidence we free one. What's another buy? No, I quite say at some say. Yeah, quarter so they fact say and also obogu. Again, there's a countermount to issue. May 2014, 2015, I was here. Charge me say I was now my man also the Sikabion say was here. You could teach a man for your support your mechanism. My man uncle Sika the man, one fan call uncle victims. That is the word we are saying. Afghana by the court and say. Ghana by ain't say enough evidence to say, Mamma no Amphis cannot come out a victims. No, it's no all all the 78 charges na ebusia ya de bom amene nyina no baako kwadu we gina ye according to the court of appeal as we can na judgment 94-page judgment na wo mu no it would seem common na ekoso na I say the NC for Nigeria maame no I court and I say the people did not have done a bank, the state did not have enough evidence to show say maame no why bone on can say maame no ye bone into Otinabi as the Attorney General is going to the Supreme Court to go and appeal perhaps say you need enough evidence ebusia ebetime jeli no sometimes you may have a very good case sometimes the case in bad but when you say evidence now from bar they can't prosecute the person. In fact, they are not happy with the situation. I'm saying the same. I'm not. But I'm not like I say I'm rano. Say your emotions. Say your thing. Say your thing. The law is the law. The Attorney General will go to court and go appeal with enough evidence. And on the flip side, one will wonder. Appeal no, my man want appealing abroad by Oba Ghana ya. You're jailing in 2024. Somewhere in April. In May the same year, and a filing appeal. Until now appeal no, not a year within Obaya or filing appeal. No. It's probably all the cases now mounting against the woman in Nano. Maybe because she wasn't here. And a boy some born no, and I just said what Bob in Anoa. The law is person just say Ghana bank kafan hunina na enye no kre. Enu nti no court and say, Mameno, Wujano. Ebusia, you may disagree with the court. You may not like what the court have said, but this is what the court is saying. Yeah, now we have our reservations about it, but the man canon. It's the best Ghana for. Then the warrior say, Omo minimidi. A lawyers for ominimidi. They know that in the law there is a saying that it is better to free 100 guilty persons than to imprison one innocent soul. Then case mama no nye boni. But se mama ne se some pass on nye boni a. I didn't say the tune so why boni. And for all you know, maybe because it's NDC. So NDC near that's on nye boni a. I didn't say case why boni. Instead of pay the busia, the court is saying that mama no Ghana bank you need enough evidence to prosecute the woman. And with Ghana. You may disagree, you may not like it, but that is what a Ghana Brano Eka and other paying. So, Ebusia, that is information for you. What kind 94-page document now? Ne woman and I must surmise my body tougher. Ediamar. Ebusia and the Pemidin, Chrissy Parker Wilson.
Yo, Ebusia, Echo Bibia, wow, Shemi, Chrissy Parker Wilson, Edin Trimu, Amamo. You can go to her and burn into ashes. Into team in count baby bia or shemi biana. Aha, Nkoto 101 YouTube, Facebook, Nkoto into the baby bia or shemi biano. Obey to me. I hope say more team in count yay. I think so. I hope say some more team in count yay dia. And I'm on team in count swa. Na mama maile mehu. Yeah, I hope motimen kai there. Yes, yeah, BBI intact. Good evening, Soti Ofori. Soti so motimen kai na dia to comment session say ya tell nka enkoto odemu live. Odemu live. Enti michio bibia, we can hear you. Thank you, Dana. Godfred and so yetiao yini. Makacho say ye bahasia yeno. Menye government spokesperson. But me yase ye yama enko for a changing narrative be. And there a sign dangerous say enko for portray etre internet nso say omo person omo boana dudua enseda enim emra no omo ye dey omo boa omo na omo hu mra no
the trial she sought permission to travel abroad for medical reasons and then remain in the United issued a decision unanimously acquitting and discharging Sedina Atienu Tamaklo, who was convicted of various offenses in absentia because, well, she was standing trial, and in the course of the trial, she sought permission to travel abroad for medical reasons and then remain in the United States for the rest of the trial. The trial court convicted her of the offenses charged, and then an appeal was filed by her lawyers in May 2024. I want this to be made abundantly clear that it was my predecessor who filed the appeal. However, coming into office, I reviewed what was filed, and I directed the Director of Public Prosecutions to file opposing the appeal, because we believe that the High Court judgment had merit. Now, with this judgment, I've also directed the Director of Public Prosecutions to file a notice of appeal and apply for stay of execution.
Yeah. Enra. Yebekasa efa judgment about bonting from the appeals court. Na hue and cry among for a year. Say adintine yeja is said nam Tamaklo. As Paka a car, you know, a 94-page document. Among for the door and no ye did no. You could clearly see, say, now among kind judgment, no. And so mobile na internet so did. And the argument no we in say, I see a kind politician idea ye tin hu nipa no afa kwan bi so no abegyan no. And my no me catch them say, asem no except ye twitwa on kakra de koto Ghana web. Na kakra na me ko ready o Ghana web nimpo abra na me nyan ready the whole judgment no 94-page judgment no. Who say the entire country on ye hear massive education. Politicians say mo amfa mo na yen si for mo a na mo fi se mo be fa yen say ye nkofo a ye Jimmy fo ni ade a at the end of the day mo be nya ye you will hoodwink us so we vote for you, but at the end of the day ye to abanma mo wi a mo be san bre e wa adwuma na mo ya ma ye no so onim ni enti a. It is always difficult to lead uneducated folks. And kofua omunye abreast of what is happening around them, no. A difficult say ubetimi adi omo so. Me who say people claim say omuti internet so educated the masses. But we have a problem. Like the same way, wuntumi case e ba ye no. Obintimi read one statement say every wuntumi case ni mo. And so was a political victimization. One who the Samaria Parker Wilson, our year radio presenter, I think Okuma show baby, as someone Oka. And I've got some of a bit to me. A friend is a 94-page document in that. So who ye met me I na can say no one ye 94-page document. I have the document PDF and all. We are in the era of information, and so say me betrana me can be now so be agiwa. Obana be show your debate near there. Come with the fact. Now the reason I made a video we say in any say why did the Attorney General jam the gun? Who admitted was in a press conference, Nasa say you had not read the document. So who read the document from the appeals court, no? And then I can say omonfa case in Sanko Supreme Court. Who Attorney General, no? One kasan who say wunya time and peruse, ya kase perusa. She say who study BB critically. Unko study at the end. Program na wo ye no. Emfa said nam tamaklo ho. Yes, a man for baby sound question. You only have to tell them, say, enya no ho ne discussing is say at the appropriate time, you respond to it. So, then na oti say ya appeals court are clear. Said nam na no. O pese wo save one face. Okay, let me tell you, Mr. Attorney General, you are not working to please NPP for. You are working, you are in that office working assiduously to plead the common Ghanaian, not NPP need, and not the so-called neutral. Obi bi oti Ghana ho say oye neutral bia wa bodam. Obi bia o claim say oye neutral bia no me so oye bodam for. Neutrality doesn't exist when it comes to social settlement. Any party, any bia woni interest. And common interest are not a yen who to say the enfane. So they become some kind of disinterested when it is not going to their favor. When it is not going to their favor, they will tell you, "Omo ye neutral, omo boa." Manin koni favors is here, no. E ho na be hu ni true colors. I mean, where is it? Where is it? Enkofo ne yakohwefo no mgu kro ni mo. And I state this clearly, unequivocally say, enkofo ne yakohwefo. Enti and no, I mean, time I'm saying no. Attorney General, I didn't know who created this mess. Who pentem, I reacted to. Said nam. Now they court no, Attorney General, I build a court no. Quorum na omotina so no. Judges a kuku dan miensa and it's not issue ni so. And who read the judgment now? Sa 77 counter ya di bo maame no. Wo na wo say said nam tamaklu eye kromfo. Oye kromfo wo so akoche sika ama amanfo. Okoche sika ama amanfo no. What consult to regional directors now omo in charge of mass lock ne say eya ampase ye wa ankoye. But o de to ne so say wo ye kromfo. Also oba ye no. Like who inherit case no obeto ye na girlfriend dame asase. Enti girlfriend dame asase na say eya ampase wo bibi a ebotia maame ne say oye kromfo a. Because oba ye no naturally yes no the case na wie. No the case na wie. And ya try maame in absentia just oni ho and ya try no. You try no now in April 2024. May na maame no put you in. Ono so filing in ne a friend say appeal. And now what ho no mo na mo ye musimu defend oman no. Godfred Dame entimi amfa proofs ama. And the judges and I said judges at the time omo convicted maame no. And I'm na ba. And they are called appeals court. And appeals court say a choir state need maame faso. It has we don't have any basis. And it's a ube catch is a heritage case, And I still am I go ahead. Supreme Court. Sorry, appeals court. And wakako win case now. Not just a won't so buy and ankasa went to me at the papa bia or home. In Tiafin, I was a time case in the Supreme Court, or the compare Supreme Court. They build the compare Supreme Court. So, what evidence be or buy now or apply for appeal, no? A honor was all the issue, no, I caught more for evidence in Rasu. I wasn't go to come and went to. This boils down to the fact to say the way I say I buy a Jessica at the mama a mobile for instead say you fa electronic medium so near this kind of go so that you be hardcore records to prove no. Oh wow, ni e teacher the man for. When it just say the way we give out monies or chromo on no, you discover man for a Brian me. When I was in Korea, COVID time, Korea government say students, I will chronim foreigners, will chronim omo ye legal resident no, omo pese omo boy no. Say ye made this scam fan koye grocery no. Korean government and first can and say obi nsem say on family yo. Obeko would like or assembly and also area now what in office now designated office na yesi koneko jiska no. Obeko no sikano ewo electronic system so na wo. Okwa instantly oma type di no ma bia na omo yi like something like ATM card. Na sikana aban si yemfama no. Omo abogu card ni so. Enti nipa na oto no. Physical cards bi ani nsem o. Minister no en release physical cards bi mfi Accra mfangu car mu na. Abedi district o. Se minister ni approve say ye 10,000 cities and ema enipa ba ku bia. Electronically about the good system ni so. Enti se when ni card no am print sika na nguso amfa ma beneficiary na. Wu nipa no asika ni like o enter untimi redro sika no. Be bia nkofo aba omo bra kodru no. Into abegyina ho e ka se wo dey cause Supreme Court akopede ho. Na chese mo sorry a money evidence. And you see, these are some of the cases Attorney General so one hwe ni ye Godfrey Dame obia Ghana honum no obia nim se ono no wanye na adwen se oye adwuma dia save o man no oye na adwen se oye adwuma dia save Ekufuado. Into some of the cases na ye corruption cases, high profile cases Godfrey Dame den nsa kan no so when nya adaje antena se a ensem ni pii be court ama aban na kodi nto na enam se wo na wo ye current Attorney General ntino wo anim ne de betwitwi sa mess so. You're very careful. Me say Ghana for no moto abama awo no. Almost take your time na ye adwuma. Don't follow NPP for encore for amu tena news file na TV show just to prove a point to be intino o pese wo kire se e na wo nti ase te se de I say e na ayi appeal court hwe appeal court na di asem. I'm stating it here. Supreme Court Supreme Court sa evidence na appeal court ni here. Supreme Court ebe uphold sa evidence no na still no said nam obenya ni tire didim e na paka eka no wo na wo koka said nam ye kronfo. The burden of proof is onto the state prosecutor. Say a kwan bia so ube prove atre Ghana for say ampa said nam ye kronfo. Enye said nam e na ekwa akokire omo odi sika ne ma omo. If abana wo di sika ne ma said nam no so proper measures, proper process Saudi agu ho a would like disburse usika na hu baby sika 1 penny bia free the national kit ni mo aircon no utimi track here you should know say ampa said nam this kind of koya na so amfa anko. The burden of proof is on us and you the state prosecutor no who are represent here. Godfrey Dame aye shoddy work. Godfrey Dame, why show the work? Because Osha won't to me case now. Who could read the judgment now? Won't to me a lawyers. And to me, ama won't to me aunt, yes, you say. We call some what we call the corporate veil. So register a company. The company, a limited liability company, okay, is treated as an entity. You treating it to say, oh, you nipa. And son the owners of the company in Susuno, a nipa separate from the company. Then I won't to me. O lawyers, ma uko jina ho. Answer questions. Edema akunta mining. Na uko jina ho kobusa question. Don't you know, say, who do ho kotwasemu? Se company no problem. Company no one lawyers. There was a company in lawyers, no, and a representative. Now, would you when you walk near Busao issues near the Ebubo now, wow, inconsistencies, or response mo. Now you base on near the judge. It might be say yes, it be now wound to me regarding sa issue no only for. But only for no one to me and Kawasem ye one present two issues here. Ubonse would bempa. But on sem na okay cano, insisi so court no susuno until wakumemu. Judge no on se wakumemu no on se witrim. And asem ne cost no Baomia, according to Baomia, you and I were not there. The only thing I able based on the evidence on the pin sheet. Pink sheet ni ba no. Etre say uni documents. Uni authority say o pass it on. Ade a wakwaje from Ministry of Natural Lands and one Minerals and one any Minerals Commission. Now what the command will be against the laws. Ebu bowa, ebu abow. When Timmy improve one so inconsistency in your responses, no, and I let you down. Why now be blame no? Me and answer one who also blame. And the fact that say a person fight corruption also doesn't mean say you need evidence to convict people. And what's it by hook or by crook, no? Once I can't be so or your crown for no. Yemfa kwan bi aso emu anukum for. And said the name case no. A test case at the ma obi bia. Mu yesi ya na more state apparatus mu na mu create avenue for people to steal because mun to me gather enough evidence to buttress your case. Oshe a bit say who read the baby say ya here. Baby say who read ya statement of offense. Where page slide say me ba could be an American cry or hefa. Let me I think say na page 55 or so, something like that. As I say, summary of the submission of the appellant. The counsel for the appellant argue grounds B to H. Under the omnibus ground A, it is the appellant's case that the charge sheet which initiated the criminal proceeding is defective and cannot justify the appellant's conviction. The appellant claims that count 5 to 71 are defective because the particulars of the offenses in the conspiracy to steal stealing, conspiracy to willfully cause financial loss to the state, and the causing financial loss to the state charges do not show any act, omissions, or transactions involving the appellant. Okay, so on the case of making the prosecutors and to prove beyond reasonable doubt what they are some to be so. So what will be a crumb for now? We'll born quadua my yenina swa more thing. What they 77 counts and they have to said the name so. And also from count 5 to count 71. Ni nyina no ayensam fonko uni basis. Also, the appellant argues that the charges lack specific details about her dishonest appropriation of funds and the acts or omissions that led to financial and public property losses. This is similar to the charges on improper payment of public. Next page. Public funds, which were not verified due to prosecution's failure to disclose existing procedures that the appellant allegedly violated. Additionally, the charges on committing the government of Ghana to a financial obligation without authorization do not specify the transaction, the entity involved, or the required authorization. In advancing the submission, Learned Counsel for the appellant placed reliance on the Republic versus Ernest Thompson. The same thing and Omudiye Ernest Thompson. The former Accra House of Folk legal friend say lawyer no. Ernest Thompson and ye quote no. What they are saying to biswa na concrete evidence. So in advancing the submission, Learned Counsel for the appellant placed reliance on the Republic versus Ernest Thompson and 4 others. Criminal appeal number J3/05/2020 dated 17. The Ernest Thompson case, the submission, as I understand, it is that decision states the governing standard by which proper formulation of a criminal charge is to be judged. On that footing, counsel contends that a charge is duly framed only where it gives the accused sufficient notice of the nature of the act alleged against her, being the act said to constitute the conduct which the law has prescribed and to which penal consequence attached. Therefore, counsel submits that the absence of these details violates Article 19(2)(d) of the Constitution and Section 1121 of the Criminal and Other Offences Procedure Act 1960, and a conviction and sentence based on these defective charges must be set aside. So the precedent now, the appellant court, no, Wakofa Ernest Thompson, the Republic versus Ernest Thompson and 4 others. 2020, we were doing a Kufuado time now, no, and a court of appeal. Ernest Thompson criminal offense I had told you so. Court ni botugu say. And someone prosecute, state prosecutors needed to me so near didn't know. If you shame no, want to me and prove beyond reasonable doubt. And I called to the car say, and yes, a silent here, dear. We cannot base on these defective evidence and convict people. Oh yes, sir. Rule of law, justice, no, and violate the individual's right as enshrined in the Constitution. And in yes, a judge na boni trimo. Judge no, ni yonko judge be Eddie Ernest Thompson and 4 others are Republic versus Ernest Thompson. And woko to no. Unko read the judgment no. Why you tikono wa betra internet so na oye didi. Me say this era, I wish that Abai Weber Koso Ghana for so we start to read and we will push away every damn narrative NPP for Edibabe Fry and Komodiebo. Oh, sorry, incesi ebesuya de ni the NPP for Jimmy for ni omo lawyers eti. No ma betra news file. Oko kan na Samson ni wa ni tikono ni buafu so obi di obi atem. Na mo Jimmy say na say enkofo betra mo studio ho. Mo na mo frɛ mo se mo ye lawyer. Look at the Felix Ofosu-Kwakye e de ye obi. O claim say why ye law. Enkwasia ostentatious law na mo ye going into law school to please and intimidate people. Ostentatious life na mo te Ghana ho na law no abeye fashion. We never sorry me law. We never sorry me law. Or better radio so 1 2 3 kwasi campaign be say kwa me free fa mensa no sorry my law no afa no adi no ne nam kro ni mu. No ne nam kro ni mu. Parker Wilson eka enokre na ewo judgment 94 page documents no okokan mu a all born tofa no kwase bi be ko ni page so akwa chen say NDC for amaniska adentia or tifri chairman sabonsu ano say an MPP dia here from Titino, they will not let you learn so that or then kwase asembe ba be man. They will not allow people to learn. I've come to understand, say, hey, day in, day out, no. Who say NDC for followers, no. Near Sabi owns school Democrat now. I know person who share something new. But MPP ni no. Oh boy, why is a Pentecost ni? Oh, who said Jehovah Witness ni abani fear the cancer more. Instead, say at least no, or be pay attention. No, the other side of the believe no on Pentecost was anom subai. Men I make a show. I don't fear. Pentecost ni. So be accepted Jehovah Witness ni Pentecost ni. Or who said Jehovah Witness ni about the fear? On tie the Jehovah Witness ni babe campo. Who die tie no? Nenka based on one sem obeka. Nenka ere efa fight in the back. On tie one ne kan ya so de nkonkro di. On your nkonkro no de nam. Obi se Pentecost was ABC bu say ni. Me tell say me read here then am say na Ghana for journalists much is now who obi oti honum say I say we name say some things happen behind the scenes. And na Felix Ofosu-Kwakye busan say e dey be na happen behind the scenes na after what radio so. Why do you intentionally want to be this stupidly mischievous? Mafa politics not to say agro near die and don't you know say what you do is that you let certain unscrupulous politicians to take undue advantage of us. The piano square one. And now people have flooded the internet. Who say Nanaba Namoa say, I don't know whether that statement she made was in reference to the judgment appeals court in the buy say, oh, opportunity say also to free Ghana now court na baby. Let me tell you, okay? Me wa kwentom na me catch you. We a young boy, we a young girl, we a obi a we school bi, we sua wa dwuma bi, na wo te ho na wo ye wa dwuma, na bosome, utumi eto aduane, utumi to light, utumi to in bundle e de hwe me. Na wo ye nkakra wato wasase bi a wodi sidan a, menua ma wani mre kwa me nkoto amete ha. Don't be bamboozled by the fact to say me internet so a wo hwe me. Mi nikapre na mdisi ha. Ente ye wa adwen se sika pudu obi da ha se ya yesesa. All right? O beton o black and o color TV. E di sika san so akwa akoje black and white volume button no I say I am stating it here, and a lot of the people they don't speak the hard truth. Just because court case be and court favor, pack your bags and baggages if you Ghana anymore. You will never understand what a beautiful country you have until the day you leave the shores of Ghana. Now, Baba is stranded. It will be cruel. Do you think a year there? Do you think say me ti ha say no a year me there? Say me sorry na my dad there was me the koi bibi. Adia me ye I don't get paid. No one pays me for what I'm doing. No my better na me ye. I'm saying it so that politicians omo ya kromfo me ma ye from politicasters no omo ma me ra ye governance system ni mu emfa ahokyere pia ya come over the years no. It's as a result of bad leadership. As a result of bad leadership, and I'm a ya emrante ni mabawa. Efan so mo ko obi close akwa ko dipa. As a result of bad, like absolutely weird leadership from him for to assuring penny for religious leaders to ebusia penny, papa ni mame to Almighty Gnano. We have failed as a people. Into traho no be so kutupa. Say ton we japade kakra na watimi making Ghana. Never better United Kingdom. For better USA. What ye ton nebra? Why? Ton nebra. Na obabano na sycamore tree. Esi ho as a kiosk sheswa all $4 go from your uncle, your aunt, and I say auntie or America or what UK or what Germany or what Holland na what basi die or Ghana honum no. Okay? Or yeah juma more than 12 hours a day. And let's ask ourselves, say, yes, you're cool, no. And your man you're right. And your man you're right because of say your man who climb and go for the efa kwanya efa suiso. Omuya 12 hours, more than 12 hours. And then our office was so back room has a year or the student mattress so. Na say jumana ya betina man for close 24 hours no. Yedimu 12 hours a year juma. Na udimu bi a best 2 hours after car. 2 hours after car kwaba. Internet within a day no be 15 hours out of the 24 hours no. Would it? I hear jumane up and down. Yet ye krom Ghana honum. And an good leadership. And no ma criticize opportunity na yes you bet me sorry ni akoya adwuma would you continuously solidly 8 hours krana anka huni baby aye man edu obi ba be draw to internet so when opportunity also free o man mu afrim yes free na wo free mu wi a ho na obeto samia. A lot of people want to go back to Ghana. The fear here is that the little na mabenya free has say no leadership na ewo kuro ni no omo de nneoma agu akwan mu a ebetimi ama yetena kuro no mu asomdwe mu dabi nti hu se wo fane mafia a enye se nneoma pa bi wa abrochi ha say o. It is all because there's like fear, inherent fear, the basic fear. And I say, my kumi mo journey for the past 20-25 years. And I'm the sika kakrea mi di enya. Because me de call Ghana, na me de call Kotu Bank bia, politician bia otise na nado, emma, kase, wabe close to banks. Ama misika akoka wo GN Bank. Uni mamamfo a omo ye bojo adwuma edi omo sika akose First Allied, GN Bank and all the other indigenous banks are Akufo-Addo good no. Uni mahasipe the bank of so.
Meaning that if the stay is granted, the status quo will prevail until such a time that the Supreme Court has had time to review the appeal and then made a determination. So that is all that I can say for now. I have a soft copy of the judgment. I'm yet to peruse it and then come to a firm conclusion as to what will be our grounds of appeal. But I want to emphasize that I believe that the judgment of the High Court had merit and that the United States District Court that extradited her to Ghana had a basis for making a determination that she was the proper subject for extradition. This morning, the Court of Appeal issued a decision unanimously acquitting and discharging Serina Atienu Tamaklo, who was convicted of various offenses in absentia because, well, she was standing trial, and in the course of the trial, she sought permission to travel abroad for medical reasons and then remain in the United States for the rest of the trial. The trial court convicted her of the offenses charged, and then an appeal was filed by her lawyers in May 2024. I want this to be made abundantly clear that it was my predecessor who filed the appeal. However, coming into office, I reviewed what was filed. And
What's your say? You guys, you have no idea. You have no idea. I try the afan yoma normal na yedi tihonomo I've grown away and so. What you want, man? That's why sometimes I'll be to one or yes, and I made them in politics, and I'm go to the almost sorry politics in Kwan. I'm saying, share. It is from politics, Nimuno. And I'll be near the ocean minus so I'm in a school, papa, hospital, papa. I all kind the amount. For also want to take it time on educate youth, no. Say, Yana was here building mind. There are a lot of people are Oma ba be school ha, Omo banana yo mo adwen say Omo be school abroche wi a. Nko wi school na na be about 100,000 pounds, 200,000 pounds. Na nko de ko. A man for atna abroche for 20 years. When ko bu so 50,000 euros e da wa. Inti nipa pii ne de ahwease aba be ye na. Omo de ahwease aye na. Waye bodwa si 2 bedrooms bi de ama na ebusuafo bi omo Ghana ho ayi omo afiri hia kakra mu. But ono ankasa na onam wiase no oni anigye. Ono ankasa na wasi 2 bedrooms, 4 bedrooms, 5 bedrooms e de asi Ghana ho no. Ontimi nkoda mu 1 adentia. Oko Ghana oni adwuma okoye wo ho. Inse say ye be build ama politicians na ti ase. Na institutions no asasa ye adwuma so that se Ghana card ni ade na ye no ye be strengthen no na afi no obi edi boni a ohun so odi boni na ekɔ ne record so a se okobo okro no ye fan se onkoye teller ewo poku trading e na okɔ wi ade o poku trading ho a na se that person ehu say the next time okopa adwuma obe find it difficult to get job a krono ne so beti okro ni mu. I don't know why na ye no broni kro nim sa no. Eh politician. Politicians no e na tena ase omo ye mra. Ah o ko han obi dan po a e wo broni kro. Bra wo be bre so oni adwuma ye a. Bra wo be bre ansana. What you say? Me ba UK. Ya ye nua ba ko ene de ma me mbɔ ne din ne nye de. But me bɔ ne din na ahye ne nkruan. Roberta Lamte or hwɛ me sisi ai. Ono bo a me secure accommodation e wo krum ha sei e de ma me. Because uni obia why na letting agency no. Why na ono no like ordinary diabe man obia you have to get a guarantor or guarantor. Do you know how difficult to even to rent a place to put your head? How difficult it is ewo broni man so. Ukra usika o de ko han dan no. But it's difficult adentia. O ma titiri kro no politician na titiri kro no say so what kro na o di boni a o punishment no say they will make life difficult and unbearable for you. And na ma boni so ati o. And even that krana a man fostla epe kwan bia so biti. And so when we come here na ye kasa so that your politicians no enso be sua ne ya be hu na ye be force wo mo ana o maye sa nyoma ne bi o back home dia maye na tina bi wo do investment ko a na kwasea bi de oye wa adwen so obewie adwuma na wo mo remu dia bi no oye na adwen so obedidi wo mu a lot of people so omo ko bie companies e wo Ghana omo san se so omo nyoma afiri ho asa ba ha adentia ya wia na ade na akọ police station no police inspector ebe mo obi akọ acha ode ama no ohini bi bekwa akọ hu se me wo faase na ehwe we so ha obekwa akọ acha boni aye glaring say e wo se ye di nipa no konye ko panse no at the end of the day no na wanya ne ti no wadidim na okọ na wo sika ebia no age besia every bank wo no okrom ha sei senka wo de koye na mfa so ba ho a wo de abetua but enam say and she say right no obi di boni with impunity no okọ because onim say oh we wiane kra na me call the next shopper oni me records but over here you will data pool who di boni say kim e ko di ase enya record to di ase a eno ano no ene nkwase adwuma na abeya ene bia warehouse na be wuada Na se pa se was we teacher ni wakodi obi. They said teacher ni no odi akure wo Bolly Senior High School ho. Yeah. Ono asanya ho abetena internet say wono waye na adwen say okwa akoware akora no abodam sem ne yeso so okuro ni mu. Na munya opportunity na mo travel na ma ba ye eyi hwan women na odi amanfo afri Ghana ba bruche be conference na mo agigi scan na pa moko unya opportunity a o si amanfo ensesa omun kuku nkaka emfa metna ha odi emomra na obedru ha wie a na abeti osamia. I have a technical challenge and I think because of that we'll end it here.
I directed the Director of Public Prosecution to file opposing the appeal because we believe that the High Court judgment had merit. Now, with this judgment, I have also directed the Director of Public Prosecutions to file a notice of appeal and apply for stay of execution, meaning that if the stay is granted, the status quo will prevail until such a time that the Supreme Court has had time to review the appeal and then made a determination. So that is all that I can say for now. I have a soft copy of the judgment. I'm yet to peruse it and then come to a firm conclusion as to what will be our grounds of appeal. But I want to emphasize that I believe that the judgment of the High Court had merit and that the United States District Court that extradited her to Ghana had a basis for making a determination that she was the proper subject for extradition.